Good morning. Thank you for allowing me to interview you today. My name is Jordan McGee, and this interview is for an assignment in my Communication Research Methods class. I'll be asking you a series of questions about your student experiences here at Missouri State. The interview should last approximately 20 minutes. With your permission, this interview will be video recorded for viewing so that others and I can assess my skills as an interviewer. Do I have your permission to video this interview?
Yeah.
Great, great. Do you have any questions before we get started?
I don't think so.
All right, well, we'll jump right in. To get started, could you please tell me your first name and your year in school?
My name's Renee, and I'm currently a sophomore in school.
Okay, great. What is your current major and your current minor?
Right now, officially in the books, my major is public relations, and my minor is marketing. But I've been kind of having a mid-college crisis, thinking about changing that. So I'm thinking about changing it to interpersonal and sociology. Kind of in the process of doing that.
Great. Can you explain a little bit why you're deciding to change?
I started PR, and I've been PR since I started college, and I really liked it and liked all the classes I've taken and stuff. But I've kind of been thinking more that I don't want to be on the businessy side of things. I want to be more on the personal side of things. So I've kind of been thinking that that's a better route. I've thought about social work, but I'm kind of too far into the comm department to just pick up and totally switch that far. So I'm thinking if I do interpersonal sociology, I could possibly, if I still am interested in that at the end of undergrad, I could go to grad school for social work or something.
Okay, great. Did you talk to anyone about choosing a major and minor before you decided to choose?
When I originally chose PR, funny story, I saw there was a TV show on E! That was based on a PR firm in LA, and that's what first intrigued me with public relations, which is kind of funny. So I did some research. I didn't know anyone in the field, so I didn't really talk to anyone too much. My school had a career day in high school where people in the Jeff City area would come talk on different fields, and we had a girl in the communications field come and talk, and so that was really cool. But then also when I came and visited Missouri State, I did my tour and everything, and then I met with Dr. Dyer. He's a PR teacher in the comm department, and I met with him and kind of talked to him about it and stuff. So that made me want to do it more. So.
Great. Did you explore careers in this area of your study before you made a decision? And if yes, how did you do that? I just did a lot of research kind of on my own online and stuff, but also the Missouri State website has a lot of in the comm department, there's just for each major, there's different career options and stuff, so I kind of would look at those and explore them more. Now that I'm kind of in the process of switching, I've been I've been kind of thinking that PR might not be what I want to do, so I had to figure out what I do want to do if that's not it. And so when I was thinking more about interpersonal, I looked on the website and stuff. It's a lot of there's a lot of options. Interpersonal is obviously more general than just public relations, so I could still end up doing PR with an interpersonal communications degree. So that's kind of cool, but I've looked into that a lot, and then I'm kind of in the process of looking into more things with counseling and social work, and if this could set me up to go to grad school for that, and why not? Great. Okay, what has been your most valuable learning experience here at Missouri State so far?
Oh man, well, I've had a lot of good experiences. I feel probably my public speaking class that I took my freshman year, first semester, was a really good experience because it was cool to just dive in and get introduced to the comm department. And also my teacher, Nora Cox, I don't know if you've had her, but she's awesome. And so that was just a really cool experience to have to start off my time here at Missouri State. And I learned a lot about just communication in general, and that was really cool. Also last semester I took COM210, and I was not looking forward to that class. I thought it was going to be a snoozer, but I ended up really liking it, and I find myself even now referring to different theories because I'm kind of a nerd. So yeah.
If you could offer one piece of advice to a prospective Missouri State student, what would it be?
Um, Probably, that's hard. Probably this is kind of going off from the academics and stuff, but just to get involved and, I mean, everybody says that, and I feel like that's, like, the typical advice, but more than just, like, getting involved, like, really, like, dive into something and put your all into something, because there's a lot of people who just, like, are like, I need to be involved, I need to build my resume up, so they get involved in a lot of different things, and it's fine, but they're just kind of, like, halfway doing everything. But I think I would just advise people, like, it's okay to get involved in a lot of different things, but find, like, one or two things that you can really, like, put everything into and, like, dive into, because that's when you're going to get the most out of something. And also just with, like, academics is that I know college is, like, a new thing, but, and so it's, like, sometimes a hard transition for people, but just to really, like, put your all into your academics, because this is the time where you're learning stuff that you're going to use for the rest of your life. It's not just, like, general. Well, some of it is, but when you get into your major stuff, just really dive into that and put everything into it.
What are some of the things that you're personally involved with on campus?
I'm in a sorority, Alpha Chi Omega. I also am really involved in Crew, which is a campus ministry. What else? I'm on the Relay for Life planning committee, so I'm in the process of, like, helping plan that event. And then I just recently became a university ambassador. So I'm in the process of training for that, and so that's really cool because I'm obviously, with that, I'll be giving tours to prospective students and stuff, so I'll be getting to share a lot of the stuff that we're talking about now with people who want to come here and hopefully having an influence on that.
Are you excited about this new university ambassador involvement?
Yeah, I'm really excited. I applied my freshman year and didn't get it, and so I was a little nervous to apply this year. Wasn't really feeling like getting rejected again, and so I just kind of went for it and applied, and I didn't have my hopes up, but when I got accepted, I was just really excited. I just think it's a really cool way to, like, share my, like, pride and passion for the university and be able to, like, make a difference there, because I've heard of a lot of ambassadors talking about how they have people come up to them on campus and say, you gave me my tour and you're the reason I'm here at Missouri State, and that's, like, the coolest thing ever. So thinking that people could do that to me, that's really awesome.
What kind of things are you involved with within your sorority?
I am on a few different committees. This year's our 30th anniversary for our local chapter, and I'm on the Alumni Weekend Committee there, and so that's a weekend in April that we're kind of in the midst of planning events for alumni, sending invitations out and whatnot. So right now I've been kind of busy with that. Also, I'm on the membership programming committee, and so I help with ideas for, like, Mom's Weekend, Dad's Weekend, just, like, sisterhood events and fun things. And then we have this program within Alpha Chi called My Journey, and it's through our nationals. And it's, like, each grade does it separately, and you have, like, a facilitator within your grade, and so me and then another girl facilitate our sessions, and it's a lot of stuff. It, like, breaks down our values and, like, kind of does within the values, like, how we can take Alpha Chi into the real world and use it kind of for the rest of our life. So that's been a really cool experience too.
Is there anything in the future on Missouri State that you're looking to get into?
That's a good question. I like kind of where I'm at now with involvement. It's really good. I'm sure. I thought about, if I stuck with PR, I thought about getting involved in PRSSA because that could be a really cool experience. I think it'd be good to get involved in something in the comm department just to get some more experience there. So yeah.
So tell me a little bit about why you chose Missouri State and what the process was for turning down other schools.
Okay. So my junior year in high school, I love Colorado, and so I was super interested in going to school in Colorado. So that's kind of where I was headed there, and I went and visited Colorado State University my junior year, which was a great experience. I loved it. But then kind of I came home and things were moving forward, and I was like, obviously I'm not going to just bank on that, so I needed to look at schools around here. So I applied here and then to Mizzou as well. So I got accepted at all three schools, and then it was kind of decision time. I kind of came to realize that like out-of-state school is obviously really expensive, and I didn't know if that'd be worth it in the long run. And I just kind of made myself realize that I can move to Colorado after college if that's kind of where my heart is still. But it'd be best for me to stay here. I also got I got a hefty scholarship to like good scholarship here at Missouri State, and so that had a lot to do with it. And then Mizzou for me, I'm from Jefferson City, and so it's just like 30 minutes from Mizzou. It's super close, just really familiar. Like I have friends there through high school, so I'd like go up there and visit. I'd always like go to sporting events and stuff at Mizzou, so it was something I was like really familiar with, and almost too familiar. I wanted like a new experience, and also Mizzou's so big that it's like I was like worried about kind of getting lost in the crowd, and just being a number, not really being able to make a difference there. So Missouri State stuck out to me. I came and visited. Before I visited, I knew that there was like a good chance I was going to end up here. But when I visited, went on my tour, talked to some faculty, did all that, it was just a really great experience. And I loved how Missouri State, we're a big university, but we have such a small school feel. So that was really great. And that definitely impacted my decision because I felt like I could get really involved and I could make a difference on campus, and I wouldn't be walking miles to get across campus and stuff. So I like how it's really compact, but it still got that big school feel and stuff. So.
What were some of the biggest things about transitioning from high school to college? You know, some of the things you're excited about and some of the difficulties and things like that. I've been like I was really independent in high school. Like I'm really close with my mom, but she just like trusted me a lot, gave me a lot of independence. So I wasn't really, a lot of people are worried about that when they come to college. And so I was kind of lucky to be able to kind of have the independence in high school. So college wasn't as big of a transition with that. But like not living with my mom obviously was a huge change there. I'm really close with her. And so that was like a big change, big transition for me. Probably one of the hardest things, just being away from her. But something that I transitioned well with so I'm from Jeff City, but my mom and my stepdad actually, they moved to Texas my first year of school when I moved here. And so that was kind of crazy for me, like going from living at home to being like 5.5, 6 hours away from them. And so I didn't get to go home a lot, which kind of stunk. So that was definitely a big transition. Definitely like use Skype and FaceTime a lot in that transition. It's really cool like how technology can help us keep in touch there. But also just with me, just like being like the academic aspect of college versus high school we have so much more independence. So you aren't forced to go to class every day. You don't have to get up and go to school every day. Like it's just not, like you have your choices there. And it's also, you don't have, teachers aren't hounding you if you get a bad grade. Like they don't, like it's like your thing, your responsibility to do. And so, I consider myself a pretty good student and I work pretty hard on my classes. So that wasn't a huge deal for me, but it was still definitely something to transition from. And also just like, even like if I was tempted to skip class, like I had no one sitting there telling me to go to class. And so that's definitely hard. But something that I've done well with since I've been here, but it's definitely, I could see how that could definitely be a big difficulty for some students. What are some of your favorite things about Missouri State? Things you enjoy the most?
Kind of like I said, I love that we're such a big school. We have such a small school feel. Like I see people I know. I can't walk on campus and not see somebody I know, which is awesome. You always are seeing people. Also, just like with even classes, like most of I've only had like a few big lectures, so that's been really cool. And just I feel like a lot of the faculty's been very like personable, and a lot of the teachers I've had, like if you want a relationship with them, like you can build that relationship with your teachers, which is really awesome. I also, like I kind of talked about how like I was worried with like Mizzou and stuff, I wouldn't be able to kind of build my own reputation and I'd be just like a number there. I feel like here at Missouri State, like you can really, like there are so many opportunities to get involved and do big things on campus and make a difference here. And that's like, I feel like that's kind of rare to find on big, like at big schools, and so there's a lot of different people on campus who are like making a difference and doing big things that people know about, and so I thought that's like really cool to me too.
All right. What are some of the things that you would want to change about Missouri State?
That's always a hard question. This might seem trivial, but not really. But I hate the plus-minus system more than anything. It is just always seems to. I've never personally been victimized by it, but I have like had so many close calls with like A's and A minuses that it's just been really stressful. And I like that not all teachers do it. Obviously, it's not a requirement, which is really great, but that's just something that I would definitely like want the university to look into changing, and I'm pretty sure that that's been brought up and proposed a lot. But also just, I've heard people talk about like the idea of just not having an A minus, so having just a flat A and then like the B, C, D, whatever. You could do the plus minus, and so that'd be a lot better, I feel like. Another thing I love like sporting events and stuff, and I know like sports aren't huge at Missouri State, and so I kind of wish that was bigger. I think that that's a great opportunity to like bring out like pride for the school and stuff. So I wish that was bigger, but I have like I feel like I've seen like from this year, my sophomore year to my freshman year, there was a much like bigger push to get people to go to football games and stuff, which was cool. And I mean, I've realized that even if our sports teams like aren't the best, it's still like fun to go and get involved. It's just that matter of like getting people there and staying and stuff.
What are some of your favorite sports to go to?
I love football, but I've only been to a few football games here, so I just need to take my advice and just go. But I really like football a lot. I like basketball, but I've only been to a couple basketball games too. I don't know if there's just been I don't know if there's not been a big push for it or what, but yeah, so those are two sports like in high school that I really enjoyed watching, and then I guess the only two sports here really that I've like gone to a game for.
All right, we'll kind of shift into like your future plans. What would be your ideal job and why?
Well, right now, I don't know, and that's kind of why I'm like switching majors, trying to figure my life out there. Honestly, right now, all I can really see myself doing is working for like some kind of ministry or like some kind of faith-based organization that I don't know what it is, but that's kind of where I see myself going there. Social work's definitely an option. I'm gonna kind of continue to look into that more. But I'm kind of at the point where I just can't. I don't know. I'm like trying to envision myself in the future, like what I'm doing and like what I see myself happy doing, and it's kind of a struggle. So I'm trying to figure that out.
You said earlier that Colorado is something you really love. Is that where you'd want to live, or would you want to open to other places?
I mean, I'm open. I'm not like I have to live in Colorado, but it's definitely somewhere that I am interested in living. Somewhere that I love the atmosphere in Colorado. I love the mountains. I love everything about Colorado. So I could definitely see myself living there and possibly working there in the future.
All right. So just to sum some of the things up, we talked a lot about your major and, obviously your difficulty with trying to figure out what to do with your life, and about some of the things that you love about the comm department, and we talked about Missouri State, the campus, and how much you love it, and some of the things you're involved with. We talked about your transition from high school to college and some of the difficulties with that. We talked about some of the things that you love about Missouri State and some of the things you don't love. And finally, we close with your ideal job situation and where you want to live after college. So before we end, do you have any questions for me?
I don't think so.
All right. Well, thank you for your time and your participation.
You're welcome.
Good morning. Thank you for allowing me to interview you today. My name is Morgan, and this interview is for an assignment in my Communication Research Methods class. I will be asking you questions about your student experiences at Missouri State University. The interview should last approximately 20 minutes. With your permission, this interview will be video recorded for later viewing so that others and I can assess my skills as an interviewer. Do I have your permission to video this interview?
Of course.
Do you have any questions before we get started?
I don't think so.
Okay, to get started, could you please tell me your first name and your year in school?
Hello, my name is Jordan, and I'm a sophomore at Missouri State.
Okay, what's your current major and your current minor?
Currently, I'm double majoring in economics and organizational communication.
Okay, why did you choose those?
When I first came to Missouri State, I was originally going to do history education. I love history. I love everything about it. Ever since the 8th grade, I had a great history teacher who had a big impact on me, and ever since then, I've loved it. But with education, it's a really narrow track, and if I don't enjoy it, then I'm stuck, and it's really hard to get out of. And so I wanted something to be more broad, give me more options after college, and I've always enjoyed hearing the news about how the economy is doing and things like that. And so economics is really appealing to me, and with the career path that I want to go on, communication is obviously a big thing. It's what a lot of employers are looking for, and so I went originally into the sociopolitical path because I thought possibly politics was something that I would want to be interested in. However, after last summer, I interned on a campaign for a Senate race, and I learned a lot. I had a really good time, but I realized that politics is probably not what I want to do at this point. And so I changed from sociopolitical communication to organizational communication because of the different things that I'm involved with on campus, and I'm really interested in how different organizations communicate and communicate well.
So what are some of those things that you're involved with on campus that could help you later in life with your career?
Currently, I am involved in a fraternity. I love it. I love the atmosphere, the guys that are in it. We're all really supportive of each other, and currently I'm the recruitment chair, so I get a lot of interaction with new guys, and I'm kind of the liaison between the guys who are in the fraternity right now and the potential new members. And so I really enjoy setting up the events. The events are always fun, and getting guys to go to those events is a great thing. And then I'm also involved in student government, which I really enjoy, and I'm learning a lot. And I'm a committee director in that, so I get to deal with administration as well as students who come to me for different ideas on how to improve the campus. And so those are the two main things that I'm involved with.
So what would you say is your favorite thing to be involved with and that you put the most time into?
Currently I am living in my fraternity house, and so I spend a lot of time with, getting to know the guys who are also in the house and guys who come around. I wouldn't say that I enjoy one or the other more. They're two different animals, and I'm learning a lot of leadership skills through student government, and I'm learning a lot of interpersonal skills through the fraternity and understanding how to interact with guys and also other sororities and things like that.
Okay. Did you explore any careers in the area before choosing your major and some of the activities that you decided to be in, or have you not quite thought about that yet?
Yeah, I did some research from the Missouri State website. I looked into what kind of career paths economics can lead to.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of students go to law school afterwards, so that's a possibility. I've also talked with some friends and their parents. One of my good friends, her dad, was an economics major, and he went into banking, and he loves it. He loves he loves the people that he works with and the job that he does, and so that's another possibility. And also just the business field in general. My mom, she works for AT&T, and she really enjoys that, and so that's another possibility of just being a financial analyst. For business and seeing that end. So.
Okay, what would you say has been your most valuable learning experience at Missouri State so far?
Most valuable learning experience would probably be just learning to delegate tasks. because with the recruitment chair, I have a committee that I work with, and it makes my life 10 times easier if I can let some of them know that, hey, I need you to lead this event, and it's on you guys. If you guys fail, then the event fails. And it's really good to be able to trust other people that I work with to get a job done, and they always do, and I really enjoy that. And then with student governments, I also have a committee, and just delegating tasks out to them to email to administration or to whoever who we need to contact with. And I think it allows them to gain good learning experience as well on how to communicate well with adults and people in higher power. So.
Yeah. Okay, if you could offer one piece of advice to prospective Missouri State University student, what would it be?
Oh man, this question gets asked a lot for interviews and things like that. I would say find something you love and put all of what you have into it. There are people who kind of stretch thin and do as many things as they can, but I feel like they don't get a lot out of it. I feel like if you find that one thing, that one niche that you can really enjoy and really be passionate about, you should find it and get involved and just put all of your heart into it, because that's what changes organizations, is people who are really passionate about it.
So what was your reason for choosing Missouri State, and were there any other colleges that you looked at?
Well, I first visited Southeast Missouri State because it's about 2 hours south from St. Louis where I live, and they had a nice campus. It was interesting because it was my first college visit, and so I didn't know what to expect. So I visited there, and then after that I visited Mizzou, and they're like polar opposites. Mizzou is a really big school, and I was kind of put off by it because it is a little bit more expensive and it is a bigger school, and so I feel like I might get lost in the shuffle, and the navigation around the campus was a little tricky, I thought. And then I visited Missouri State, and I fell in love with it. I loved how the size of it, how easy it is to get around campus. I noticed the bike lanes, which I ride my bike daily, and I love how they're very open about different modes of transportation. It makes it really easy to get around campus. There are really only two main walkways around campus, and so it makes it really simple to know where you're going. And obviously it's a little bit more affordable compared to other state schools, so that was really appealing, and I got a couple scholarships, and so that just pushed it closer and closer to joining Missouri State. And I knew, coming in, they had a good education program, which is what I wanted to do, and so that was kind of the final push into where I wanted to go.
So would you say that you had a good transition from high school to college, or was that kind of a difficult point for you?
Yeah, there obviously were some difficulties. It was the first time that I had ever moved away from home. I lived in St. Louis for the first 18 years of my life, and so that was probably the biggest change, was just not living in the same place. But it was really cool. I came down with my best friend. He was right down the hall from me in Hammonds. And so that made it a little easier. I knew someone, and I think just the biggest thing was getting to know people on campus, and so that's why I rushed a fraternity, because I know that they're big on campus and they're really involved. And so I wanted to meet new guys and get to know the people on campus. And so that was really helpful with the transition and everything. One of the things I really enjoyed was just getting away from the family. And I remember my first weekend, I stayed out until 3 a.m. and I thought it was awesome. For the first time, I didn't have a curfew, and so that was really fun. And you learn a lot having to live on your own really quick. You have the responsibilities that you have to learn. Stay on top of your homework, and if you have a job, there's no one there to tell you to go and things like that. And so I think that was something that you have to really learn quick, otherwise you're not going to do well.
So did you mention that you lived on campus last year then? How was that experience for you?
Yeah, I lived in Hammonds, and in hindsight now, The only good thing about Hammond's was he had Garst right
Yeah.
downstairs. And I hear from other friends who said they lived in Blair Shannon or Freddie or Wells, and they had a great experience. And looking back, I probably would have wanted to live in probably Blair Shannon, because Hammond's was very closed off, I guess, and it's far away from all the academic buildings, so it's an extra 5-minute walk, and we all have our own bathrooms, so there's no real reason to get out and to meet people, and that's one of the things that I didn't enjoy about it. But overall, it was nice being on campus and knowing what's going on, and being within a good walking distance of everything.
So far, what is the biggest thing that you've learned from your college experience?
Biggest thing I've learned, just to stay on your responsibilities. Know what you're responsible for, and just do them, and hold yourself accountable. And if you can't hold yourself accountable, then find a good friend who will hold yourself accountable. And just stay on top of your homework, stay on top of the tasks that you have if you're in a leadership role, and it's okay to depend on other people. I think I realize that now in my second year, that you don't have to do everything on your own, and I feel like I can take that after college and apply that to the job field as well.
What do you feel like has been your biggest resource to help you kind of guide you through your academic career so far at Missouri State?
My biggest resource would probably be my big brother in the fraternity. He was a senior last year when I was a freshman, and so he's been through so much. And he was in a leadership role within the fraternity, and he was in a leadership role in student government, and so I always turn to him. Even now, we stay in good contact. And we have disagreements about different things, but we always respect each other enough to look past that and to understand each other's side. And so I always turn to him if I have a question about different things, and if I need a study buddy or whatever, he's always willing to help me out. And so that's probably my biggest resource.
Okay. What have been some of your favorite things about Missouri State?
Some of the favorite things. Being in student government, I've been able to work with the administration on campus, and I love every single one of them that I've been able to work with. They're very open. They're always willing to hear the student voice and to take that into account when making decisions about how to improve the school. And they're always looking to improve the school. Things are never good enough in their eyes, and that's what I really love. And they always push me to drive to do better. And so that's one of my favorite things about campus. And also just being able to walk around campus very easily. Everything is within a 10-minute walk, which is really nice. And people don't realize how pretty our campus is compared to other schools. In the spring and early fall, there's so many different trees, and I love when we put up all the different international flags. It just adds a really nice, pretty color to campus, and makes everything a little bit brighter. So that's what I really enjoy.
So you work with helping make those changes within the school firsthand through the student government organization. What are some of the changes you would like to see made at Missouri State?
Well, currently some of the things I'm working on is the Missouri State phone app. We have a survey out right now, and so we're trying to get student opinion about what they want from that app. And I'm really enjoying that, working with the web and new media departments about how we can make it better. Because right now it's not very highly utilized by students, and so we're trying to incorporate things that they would actually use, and I'm really enjoying that. We're also working on renovations in Glass Hall. The computer lab, we're trying to update it because it was made in the 80s and it's very out of date, and looks very dark and very sad, really. And so we're trying to open it up and brighten it, and so we're working with architects and the computer lab departments, and trying to figure out what students want and things like that. And so I would love to see, we just recently made skateboarding, longboarding allowed on campus as a mode of transportation, so I really enjoy being more open with transportation on campus and things like that. So.
Okay, what would you say is your ideal job?
Well, kind of at this point in my sophomore year, I'm still trying to keep my options open. Like I said, law school is a possibility. I've looked into that. Apparently the market is saturated with people with law degrees, and so there aren't a whole lot of good jobs out there. But banking is a big thing. I'm also thinking about grad school and going to get my MBA. That's another option. That's the biggest thing is just to kind of broaden my range at this point, and hopefully within the next 2 years kind of narrow that down and really find something that I'm passionate about and will love to do.
So do you see yourself trying to apply for any internships that might help you with your future job plans?
Yeah, I have connections through AT&T through my mother, and so that's a route that I could go down, just putting my foot in the door and seeing what they're all about. I also have a friend who is a CEO of Emerson Motors, who I'm really close with. He's been a big mentor in my life, and I know I can always turn to him if I need some job experience or anything. Like I said, last summer I interned for a political campaign. I learned a lot about communication and how much they communicate within each other, as well as trying to get the word out to the people. One of the things I found really interesting about that internship was how so many people are working so hard to get one guy elected, and just the selflessness of, they're not really expecting anything in return. They feel really passionate about their candidate, and they want to get them elected, and I think that's really cool, and you don't see that a lot in the business field. And so, I'm hoping to possibly get an internship this summer. If not this summer, then definitely next summer, in possibly the business field or the banking field. So we'll see.
Okay, so other than the internship option, what are your plans for this summer?
Well, currently I have a job lined up working at a country club. They have a kids camp. I worked there last summer and had a lot of fun. I worked with 6 and 7 year olds, and we work Monday to Friday from about 9 to 3, and it is tiring for sure. Those kids, they have so much energy, and it makes me realize, holy cow, like I had that much energy too, and what has happened in 10 or 11 years since then is I've grown up a lot, and some of the things they do just astounds me, and just some of the things they say that comes out of their mouths is so funny, and I really enjoy that. And the people I work with several friends, and so that'll be a really fun experience with that. And so, I get a lot out of it, and so I'm going to enjoy working there again.
So is that in Springfield or back home in St. Louis?
It's back home. It's about a 20-minute drive from me. The country club is really nice. It has an 18-hole golf course, which we golf on every Monday. It's for workers and things like that. And so I have a lot of fun with that, even though I'm not very good at golf, but I'm learning, and so I have a lot of fun with that.
So are you planning on taking any maybe community college classes, transfer credits, or anything like that over the summer, or just planning on working?
Yeah, online classes is an option. I'm currently taking 2 online classes through Ozark Technical Community College, just to get some of those gen eds out of the way. Mm-hmm. And I think I'll have one more general education class after this, and so I might take it back home online or at night, and that's always an option.
So anything else that you're planning on doing this summer?
Not really. We might plan a vacation to Mexico, depending on if we have a timeshare. But other than that, just a lot of work.
Okay, so in this interview, I've learned a lot about your involvement at Missouri State, your major, what you plan to do with your major for the future, your summer plans. Do you have any questions for me before we close our interview?
I don't think so.
Okay, well, thank you, Jordan, for your time and participation.
Thank you.
Thanks for allowing me to interview today. My name is Renee. This interview is for an assignment for my communication research methods class. I'm going to be asking you some questions about your student experience here at Missouri State, maybe some future plans. The interview should last around 20 minutes. And with your permission, the interview will be video recorded for later viewing so that others and I can assess my skills as an interviewer. Do I have your permission to video the interview?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. And then do you have any questions before we get started?
Nope.
All right. Just to start off, you just want to tell me your first name, your year in school, maybe a little bit of background information where you're from.
My name is Morgan. I'm a sophomore here at Missouri State, and I'm from Nebraska, actually,
Oh,
not
okay.
from the Missouri area. I'm from Kearney, and it's a small town in Nebraska. I decided to come here because my stepdad, he works for O'Reilly's back home, and he got a promotion, and that's where their corporate offices are here. And so my whole family moved to Missouri, to Nixa, when I was a senior in high school. And I'm kind of a family-oriented type of person, and so I really just missed them a lot, and it was hard getting through my senior year of high school, and so I came down here just to, be closer to them, and then ended up falling in love with it here. So.
Okay, that's great. Okay, what's your current major and your current minor?
I'm a public relations major and a marketing minor. I kind of picked a lot of different majors before I picked this one, but I think I'm going to stick with this one because I really think I like this one a lot as I'm getting deeper into the classes.
Yeah.
I'm thinking I really am going to stay with this one, but I started out as a just plain basic communications major, switched to undecided, then I switched to, business, and then early elementary education, and then now this. And so I have a lot of interests, and it was just hard for me to decide what was my hobbies and then the difference between that and what I would actually like to do for a job.
Okay, awesome.
Differentiating.
Yeah. Tell me what made you land on public relations from all those options? What kind of from those different options, what didn't you like and what were you looking for that public relations is kind of going to give you?
I looked at the course load for business and just reading about the different classes, what they were about, it really just didn't appeal to me. I didn't think that I would get as much enjoyment out of that. And looking for a career, that's one of the biggest things I look for is, am I going to enjoy it? You don't want a job where you're going to be, constantly trying to struggle to get through the day,
Yeah.
I have that at work, if you don't enjoy your job, it's going to be hard to do. And so that was kind of why I steered away from business. I love kids. And so when I chose early elementary education, I thought that was going to be a good choice. But I actually work at Greenwood on campus. And so I realized that kind of that's more of a, part-time job, more of like a hobby. Like I can work with kids, have my own kids, you know what I mean? Like in a different way. I don't think that I would like that to be my full-time job. Plus, I enjoy change. And I don't think I could get a lot of that. There's not a lot of room for like promotion within that field. Kind of like principal's the highest, stage. And like, I don't know. I just didn't see myself working there now that I work at Greenwood, which I love it as a part-time job. I just couldn't see that being my career. Yeah. And so when I started looking into public relations, just all the different avenues you can take with it. You can work freelance. You can work on your own. You can work for all kinds of different corporations, agencies. Just the different, like, wherever you are in life, there's going to be an area for public relations that mixes along well with your schedule, and that's what I really liked about it.
Yeah, that's great. When I've been a PR major too, so I can kind of relate to that definitely. But when you kind of decided on PR, did you talk to anyone about the decision, or how did you kind of transition into that?
It was just completely random, and I know that kind of sounds bad. It was just kind of like one of my friends came up to me and they thought I was a public relations major just because that's what people see me doing so much. Yeah. And so I said, no, I'm education major, and they go, they said something, and I was like, that's when it hit me. I was like, you're right, what am I doing? Yeah. And so I called my mom, and I was like, Mom, I'm freaking out. Like, I don't know what to do. I don't know if this is the right major for me. And she was like, you know, honey, I wanted to tell you this all along, but I didn't really see you being a teacher as much. Like, all three of my parents went to school for teaching, and none of them were teachers. You know, sometimes people, that's one of the biggest majors, I think, that people, like, get into too deep, and it's too, you know, once they get into their practicum, and then they realize, and they're like, oh my gosh, kind of a thing. And so I'm glad I realized it before then, but my mom was like, you know, I'm kind of glad you realized that, because I didn't want to, like, force you or tell you or kind of influence your path, but she agreed that public relations was a more fitting choice for me.
It's funny how moms always seem to know that stuff.
Good intuition.
For sure. Did you, when you decided on PR, did you explore the different career options there? And if so, like, how do you go about doing that?
I Google.
Yep.
That's pretty much the only way I learned about it was I Googled the different jobs, like how, like, what's the amount of, like, enjoyment that people who have that career. I think it was like 90% or something % of people that work in public relations really love their job, you know, get a lot of enjoyment from it. And that, like I said, that's one of the biggest things I look for. And so I just Googled statistics, facts about public relations, and then now that I'm in my intro to PR class, that kind of solidified that for me. I realized even more, you know, I'm in the right major. This is what I really, you know, people have came and spoke to our class from different places that they work, and I'm like, yep, I'm in the right place. So.
Definitely. Are you in that with Gerald and Kyle?
Yep.
Okay, I checked that last
her.
semester.
Love her.
Yeah, such a great class.
Yeah.
I really liked, like, learning about the 5 different, like, facets of PR and stuff.
She gets me, like, excited because she's so excited and has so much energy about it. It makes me really excited.
I definitely can relate to that, definitely. Okay, so kind of in PR, what do you see as, like, your dream job? Where do you see kind of your future going with that?
Okay, so I'm really outdoorsy, and I really enjoy the outdoors, but like I said, I have so many different interests, and that's another reason why I chose PR is because I do have so many different interests. So if I go for PR with, like, fashion industry, that would be good. If I went for PR with, like, hospital, like, anything, you know, automotives, it doesn't matter because I have a wide variety of interests. But if I had to pick my absolute dream job, I would say Bass Pro. The only bad thing about that is that they only have 2 PR representatives for their entire company, which I don't know how many stores they have, but within the entire company they only have 2. And so I am considering doing, like, job shadowing there, but I don't think that will probably happen just because there's only 2, and I don't know. I don't think their company sees those people going anywhere, but as they expand, they might open another position. So that would just be cool. And I like, since I moved here to Missouri, I love it here. And since Bass Pro obviously started in Springfield, I wouldn't mind staying.
Yeah, that's awesome. Did you guys have the woman from Bass Pro come and talk to your class? Okay, yeah, definitely had that. That was really interesting.
And I was so excited for her presentation because I just love Bass Pro so much anyway, because I could just kill so much time just wandering around there. So I was really excited, but then when she came, it made me wish that I had her job.
Yeah.
Because it just would be so cool.
Definitely a cool experience. So in going, I know internships are kind of important in the communications department, especially PR. What do you kind of see yourself doing with that?
Well, okay, I haven't really, my involvement on campus is not very large. I don't have very much to put on a resume as far as involvement goes, and so I kind of am trying to build my way up to that.
Yeah.
I do wish I was more involved, but I have 3 jobs to pay for school, and so I just am unable to. But my plan for the summer is to hopefully go to Point of Pines camp in New York. I had an interview for that the other day, and I think that it went pretty well because I do have a lot of experience working with kids. And one of the things that they have there is internships, and one of the internships for that is PR.
Okay.
And so going there would be like kind of getting my foot in the door for it, learning some things.
Yeah.
And so I'm hoping I will get that, and I can take that into like a bigger internship maybe next year, and that'll help me like be able to, you know, get a different internship, just because I don't have a whole lot to put on a resume right now. I need to get some of those things to
definitely
kind of make myself stand out there.
So are you applying for the PR internship for this summer, or are you
this summer?
Okay.
Yep.
Awesome.
And it's a paid internship, so it goes along well with that. That's one thing I do. It's unfortunate for me because that's one thing I have to look at and take into consideration in everything, is because
if I'm not working or if I'm not making money, I can't go to school. I can't pay for those things. And so that's one of my biggest struggles.
Yeah.
And so, it's going to be nice if I do get it because I'll have the opportunity to learn and be around kids, which I love, and be outdoors, and they'll pay me a small salary, to be there. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's cool how in PR, I've heard of a lot of people working for different schools in PR, so you can take, like, your love for kids and stuff and still do PR with that. That's great. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and transition kind of from your major and job ambitions to more just, like, your general experience here at Missouri State. So what is your, like, most valuable learning experience been?
I would say probably being in Jerry Lynn Kyle's class. Of all the classes I've taken, that and then journalism with Jack Diamond were my two favorite. I feel like those are the classes that I've learned the most in. And I'm excited for her class because we're having some really cool projects coming up with our media kit. And then my class only has 9 kids in it. And so she's going to let us, she's considering letting us plan her son's high school graduation party as like kind of like something we could put on our resume, like a little bit of experience. So
that's fun.
And that might be in place of our midterm, so that would be cool too. So I don't know. I really like her teaching style, and I don't know. She just has helped me really enjoy and like think about more about my major. Like I find myself thinking about like my future and my jobs more since I've been in this class, and so probably that would be my best experience. So
Definitely. Okay, tell me, kind of, you said you aren't super involved in campus because you have a lot of jobs. Are there any organizations that you are involved in on campus?
I'm in Alpha Delta Pi sorority. I did Gamma, which is Greeks Advocating Mature Management of Alcohol. I was the Gamma rep last year. And then I did intramural volleyball last year with like the girls on my floor, and then I'll do intramural soccer every once in a while if I'm not working a night. Then I'll do it for 80 Pi. And other than that, I think that's all. Yeah, because I spend the majority of my evenings working.
Yeah, where all do you work at? You said you work at Greenwood. And then...
I bounce back and forth between Greenwood and classes, kind of just filling hours. Okay. And I love that job. It's kind of like stress reliever almost because the kids are so fun. And then I work at Dillard's. Okay. That's where most of my evenings and weekends are, is at Dillard's. And I love that job too. And then I fill in at Ozark Fitness Centers in the Gymnasium if they need somebody and I'm not already working. Okay. I'll fill in there.
Awesome. Yep. That's great. Okay, so when deciding to come to Missouri State, what was appealing to Missouri State? Kind of how did you make that decision? Besides, you kind of talked about how it was obviously close to where your parents living. Mm-hmm. Did you look at other schools around the area? Did you look at schools in Nebraska?
Call me crazy, but I didn't even tour the campus. Had no idea what it looked like until I came here to be with my dorm. No clue. Didn't know a soul. I had lots of friends in high school, but I was kind of looking to recreate myself in college. Mm-hmm. And a lot of kids from my schools, we have a top 10 university in my hometown, so a lot of kids stay there. It's called UNK. And then a lot of kids go to Lincoln to be a Husker, Nebraska Husker. And so, I mean, those were two of the other schools that I applied to other than Missouri State. Mm-hmm. I applied to Missouri State, like, I think it was a week before the deadline. Like, I was so back and, didn't know what to do. And then all of a sudden I was just like, I'm going to go for it. Yeah. Because I need a fresh start. I need a new experience. I want to be able to... It was kind of like I wanted to be able to prove to myself that I could come here and, make all new friends, do all of this all on my own. And so I feel like I couldn't have made a better choice. Yeah. Even though I had no idea what the campus looked like.
Yeah. No, definitely. That's scary. How's that transition been? Like, was it easy for you to meet people? Kind of what were the good things about that? What were the hardships there?
Well, I lived in Freddie, and all the girls on my floor were really nice. We don't keep in touch as much anymore, but I see some of them around campus, and I'll say hey or whatever. And then joining 80 Pies helped a lot. That was probably, like, the biggest way for me to meet friends was through that. And so I feel like that was a great decision, too. I never thought of myself as being, like, a sorority girl, but I came here knowing no one, And so I was like, you know what, I'm just going to do it. And so I tried it, and I like it, so.
Yeah, that's definitely great. All right, what is, like, one of your favorite things about Missouri State? Now that you've been on campus for over a year and a half, what is your favorite things about Missouri State, and what are some things that you kind of wish you could change?
Favorite things about Missouri State, the small atmosphere. I love being able to just take the purple route on over to my classes, leave 10 or 15 minutes before class starts and make it there on time. That's great. Like, I love that. I'm going to, next year when I live off campus, it's going to be a little bit more of a struggle. But still, there's not much distance between buildings, and so that makes it really nice. And then the lecture sizes, for the most part, my classes have been small. Like I said, there's 9 kids in one of my classes, and then like 20 to 30 in most of them. Some of the gen eds are a little bigger, but I like that small feel in a class. It makes me feel like I can speak up and, share my opinions more, that kind of a thing. Almost all my teachers I've really loved. They've been really helpful. They care about, how you're doing, that kind of a thing. Yeah. Those are some of my favorite things about Missouri State, probably. Some things that I would like to change would be, I've been told by people that they feel like they're not a part of Greek life, that they feel like they're not a part of campus, and like a lot of people will transfer or things because they feel like they're not meeting people. I just kind of feel bad, it makes me feel like if I wouldn't have rushed, that I would be in their position. It makes me feel bad, I wish that there would be other ways that people could feel connected, because you kind of have to have something here to make you want to stay,
Yeah, no, definitely.
And so that would be something, I don't exactly know how we would go about changing that, but that would be one thing that I would probably try to change.
That's great. Okay, so if you could kind of offer some advice to prospective students that were looking to come here, what would that advice be?
Join something and stick with it and put your all into it. That way that you can meet people, You have to have, like I said, you have to have something that makes you want to stay here. If you don't have friends, if you're not involved, you're not going to like it here nearly as much as if you are. And so pick something, pick a major that you like. Like, don't pick a major because of how much money you're going to make in it, or because that's what your parents really want you to, do it for you. Decide what you're passionate about and do that.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Are there any things that you, kind of looking into the next 2 years in college, that you see yourself getting involved in on campus? Anything different? I know you do work a lot, and that definitely kind of has a factor in that. But are there any organizations that have stuck out to you that you thought, I need to get involved there? Or even, within your sorority, positions you would want to be interested in holding? Or
I really need to join the Public Relations Club. I think it's PRSSA. That's one thing I really want to do next year. I think it might be too late for me to do it this semester, and so that's why I'm kind of next year, I need to jump the gun on that one and get involved in that, because I need to branch out and meet people that are in the same, major as me, and try to make connections that way. I've looked into university ambassadors as well. I think that's a really good one. Yeah. And I feel like, even though I'm not super involved, I think because I do love Missouri State so much, that would be a good thing for me, because I am a passionate person, and I'm an excited person. I get excited easily, and so I feel like I can help people get excited about Missouri State.
Yeah, definitely. That's a good thing there. I actually just started UA, and so that's been a fun experience, because I definitely can relate to you.
I've heard everybody that does it really likes it. So.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, tell me about an experience where you felt super proud to be a Missouri State Bear. When is there been an experience that you've been I'm so glad I'm here, I'm proud that I go to Missouri State? Anything that sticks out there?
I don't know necessarily if I would say proud, but I don't know. I just love it here. Every time I'm in a class, or when I'm hanging out with my friends or doing things with my sorority, it all makes me realize this was the right decision, and I am really proud to be here. Those are the things that mean the most to me. Probably would be my friends and my I love my classes, those kind of things. Yeah, it makes me feel like I chose the right spot, because my friends from back home always try to get me to transfer back, and I'm I can't. I just can't. Yeah, I like it here too much.
Yeah. Do you still stay in contact with those friends back home, or how's that been?
I do. I'm going back to Nebraska this weekend for the President's Day weekend. Even though that means I'll only be there for 3 days, but I try my best to stay in contact with them, because I did spend my whole life there. So.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and kind of sum up what we've talked about here. Are there any other things that you felt like are vital about your Missouri State experience that we didn't cover?
No, I don't
No.
think so.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about your major, PR, kind of how you got there, the steps that you took with all the other majors, and then kind of your future plans with public relations as well. And then we talked a lot about internships, definitely can relate there, know that's important, and just learning experiences. Also, we just talked about your involvement on campus with AD Pi, your different jobs, and just kind of how you chose Missouri State. What have been some good experiences you've had here? So I definitely feel like I've learned a lot about you, a lot about kind of your experience here at Missouri State that could be helpful to others to know. Do you have any questions for me before we close the interview?
No, I don't think so.
All right, well, it was really great interviewing you, Morgan. So thanks for your time and
No
participation.
problem.